Well, hello. I see there's already people in the chat today. Hello, ladies. Good afternoon. Almost good evening. I'm not sure where the day went today. Did it go fast for you guys? My head's been down all day, so it's when you don't look up very often, all of a sudden, my stomach is growling and I'm thinking, well, what time is it? And it's 2:30. I kind of skipped lunch. So I had a late lunch, so now I'll have to have a later dinner. Oh, it's raining in Ottawa. That's too bad, Tracy. I'm sorry to hear that. It is not raining here. We had a little bit of rain overnight, but nothing crazy. But I am excited to show you guys some new stuff. And we're going to do a giveaway as well. So we'll talk about that at the end. Just give everyone just a minute to locate our video, and then we'll get started. It's sweltering. Yeah, it's warm here too. But I wouldn't say it's sweltering. We're not in a heat wave. So you just keep that there. I like hot, but I don't like super hot. And I have a friend out west who I'm friends with on Facebook, and she's always posting how much rain they're getting. So I don't know what's going on out there. I'm going to BC in September, and I'm really hoping that it's not going to be raining while we're there. Okay, we're going to get started. Well, we've got people from all over the place here. Tornado warnings in Edmonton. We've got people from Richmond Hill, Ottawa, Regina, Oshawa. Hello, everyone. Okay, we're going to get started. We're going to start off with Honeybee. We just got in this new 6x8 paper pad, and I love the papers in this. So I have one for my stash, so that's the one that's open. I just have to, I had to have it. So it is a 6x8 pad. Well, it's actually 6x8.5, they say. You get 2 sheets of each design, and there's 24 sheets in total, and they are double-sided. So I'm going to flip through here and just show you. And I'm going to turn mine on the side because I want to point out that the reason that this is, what do they say? 6x8.5. Okay. So the reason it's 8.5 is so that you can cut this in half and get 2 panels that are 4 1/4 inches, which means that you can get 2 card fronts out of 1 sheet. Isn't that great? So the patterns are amazing. So look at that beautiful floral. And then there's this lovely stripe on the other side. So you get 2 of those. And so again, if you cut this in half, you get 2 panels with this beautiful watermelon design on the bottom. So I love that they have thought that through. And there you've got the watermelon prints on the back. And then another beautiful floral here. Now, these flowers are going this way. So you would have to do horizontal cards if you want to use them that way. So you'll cut this in half, and you'll have enough for 2 panels. And then you got that, oops, look at that, just popped right out. It's got that beautiful sort of picnic plaid that you can use in the summertime. And then the citrus is really popular this year. So again, this would go this way, I think. Oh no, it might go this way. You could go either, I think, on this one. So you can get horizontal or vertical cards on that. And then look at that great orange dot on the back. And then this one is a little less oranges and a little more lemons with the beautiful sort of mustardy color on the back. And then you have the fruit slices and the honeycomb. And then you've got this gorgeous sun pattern with a stripe on the back. Now you can see how easily these are going to pop out when you are taking them out of the pad, because mine are just popping right out, which is fine with me. I'm going to probably take this all apart and slip it into a little sleeve just so I can access the papers easily. I love this print as well. So again, cut that in half. You've got 2 panels, and then you've got that beautiful green, sort of sagey green check on the back. Everyone's trying to keep cool. Look at this beautiful watercolor print. Oh my gosh, I love it. Just love that. And then you've got green grass on the back. So that's kind of fun. And then I love this beautiful scene as well. Again, cut that in half and you've got 2 of them. And then you've got 2 papers. So you could get 4 like that. And then same thing with this one too. You've got that picnic tablecloth kind of look with the fence and the flowers. Cut that in half and you've got 2. And when I show you my slides, I'll be able to point out some samples with that. And I love the dot on the back. And there's another beautiful print with a black and white check. What do you guys think of this pad? Isn't it great? So many really fun summery sort of prints in there. I can see myself using those for all kinds of things, including layouts. So it's called Summer Picnic. And you just saw all the great papers that are in there. So I love that. So that is new. And then I'm going to pull up my slideshow because you looking at dice like this is not really going to help. So let me just pull this up here and then adjust my screen a little bit. There we go. Okay, so what we have here. Oh, what I wanted to show you on this slide is that background paper. Let me just pull it up on here again. So where was that one? That's this one right here. So see how they've created the dies and put them down on the paper. And they've created that scene. Now, I think in this particular paper, what they've done, so you'll notice this is very short here and it's a lot longer on theirs. So they've used that other paper, I think it was near the beginning, this one here, and they've cut a piece and they've kind of put it on here and so they've made it a bit longer, which is really, really cool. So you can create some pretty fun scenes using these pattern papers, which is a really cool option. And then there's just basic patterns in there too. So that's what this slide is for. Now let's move on to the next one here. So this is the Lovely Layers picnic table. So you'll notice that there is an actual picnic table that you can create. There's an umbrella. I love the option of having that umbrella. You can use that as a beach umbrella. You can use it as a picnic table umbrella. So any kind of summer scenes where you would need that umbrella. I'm really thinking beach would be another great option. You get that tablecloth option for the picnic table. You get all kinds of things to put on your picnic table as well. So all your little food treats and everything, and you can kind of create your own scene. And I think it's just really a cool option for summer cards. So if you're looking for things, and then also, again, when you're talking about dies, I always think you can make your own ephemera for scrapbook pages too. So I really love that idea. If you've got pictures of a family reunion or, a picnic at the beach or in a park or anything like that, you could create a really fun little scene on your layout and then include all your photos and everything. So it's kind of cool. So just a couple of samples using that. And you can see how you can just change your umbrella up. So here we've got an all red umbrella. And then on this one here, they've used cardstock and pattern paper to create the umbrella for this one. So, and on this one here, they're using more of a blanket on the ground versus the picnic table. So I think it's a really versatile set that way where you can kind of really switch things up and decide how you want to use it. And then next up, we have the Lovely Layers Backyard Bites. So on this, you have lots of things that we see in the summertime as far as food goes. And food dies and stamps are always so popular. It actually really surprises me. I'm just like, what do people need all this food for? But people love to eat. And I think that it just really, I don't know if it's a comfort thing or what, but we've got corn on the cob, which, by the way, I bought some at our local Mennonite farm just before last weekend, and we had it on the weekend. Oh, my gosh. So the sweet corn is coming in already, which is so good because that's one of my favorite vegetables in the summer is the sweet corn. So, and then you've got ice cream. And, of course, you can switch up how you make it and make it whatever flavor you want. You've got pie. So all those summer pies that you can make, strawberry pie and cherry pie and all that kind of fun stuff. But this one looks like a pumpkin pie too. So that will move into fall. And then you've got hot dogs and hamburgers, which are really fun. And these are like mini size. And then you've got your lemonade pitcher and your mason jar with a straw, so you can put lemonade in there, and watermelon. So you can put them all together to make a scene, or you can use them individually to do all kinds of different stuff with. So again, a really fun set to have on hand to use the little bits and pieces either all together or separately. And I love with the hot dog that they even have the little squiggle of mustard, which is really cool. And you could make that ketchup as well. So lots of fun options with that. So I love that set. And then next up, we have this one here. This is the Lovely Layers Fire Pit. So, oops, there's another slide showing you the food in action there. So the hamburger bun even has sesame seeds. And then you can see that nice fruit pie, yummy watermelon, all that kind of fun stuff. So there's lots of really cool things that you can do. I'm just going to turn my speaker off here. It's making sounds. Sorry. Okay, now let's move on. Here's the fire pit. So the fire pit is really fun. So not only do you get the brick fire pit, you can get logs and you can stack those up to create your stack for fire. You also get the fire, and then you can make s'mores and marshmallows on sticks. So again, there's lots of elements in here that will allow you to use them separately as well, which is kind of fun. And so whether you want your fire pit to be used lakeside, cabin side, campsite side, whatever you want to do, you kind of have that option. So you can see it on their card front there. Just a really fun little die set to have. We've had a few of these in the past, and they're very popular. So I love that. And then the next one up is the Lovely Layers Perfect Picnic. Now this is a kind of a cool one. So you see all these dies here that will create, again, miniature versions of like bottles of wine and grapes and baguettes, slices of watermelon. You have a basket. There's a little bit of florals in there. And there's the blanket. So you can create a blanket and a scene that way. And the blanket die is on this side. And there's even like a little book die. There's your wine and so on. So there's lots of really fun things you can do with this set. And it mixes and matches nicely with the other sets that I've shown so far as well. So there's that picnic blanket. There's the book. Oh, there must be a little hat in there too. And then the flowers, and you can see the plate has the grapes and the watermelon, and then that sunflower just off to the side. There's even little napkins. So there's lots and lots of things you can do to build scenes with this. Maybe you guys are going on a wine tour or something, and maybe you want to invite friends to go. You could send them a card and have the little wine basket and cool stuff. Like there's lots of fun things you can do with this. Maybe somebody's retiring. It'd be a cool one to do. And oops, I jumped ahead. Yep. So that's the, and you can see the pattern paper in the background. There's that grass paper. That was from the paper pad. I showed you that grass one. Mine's all taken apart here. Here's the one. So you can see how they've used that grass pattern paper in the background of this card. So isn't that fun? And then I'll tell you how to make the blanket in a minute. There's a stencil that you can get to create the pattern on that. Oh, yes. Christina says she has a fire pit and she's done lots of cards with it. Yeah, it's a really fun one. It's a unique one. Okay. And then we have a Lovely Layers citrus. And like I said, the citrus theme this year is really popular. This will give you nice big lemons. There is a round one for oranges. And then you get these beautiful leaves for greenery. And there is florals in this one as well. So lots of options. And you've got that nice branch that you can mix and match and create that. And there's that black and white gingham paper that is shown in that paper pad, just so you can kind of see some of the papers in action. They look different when they're shown on cards, which is fun to see. Excuse me. This one might be my favorite. This one is the Lovely Layers sub sandwich. And you can literally build your own sub sandwich. So you've got the long sub bun, and you've got condiments, and you've got bacon and tomatoes and different kinds of lettuce and cheese. You've got Swiss cheese, and then you've got the cheese that's kind of melting down the side. Lots and lots of cool ideas. And I just love, love, love how it looks. And we often see things like hamburgers and hot dogs and things like that, French fries even. But to get a sub sandwich is kind of a unique thing too. So I love that. Sorry, I'm sneaking drinks in between here. So that's the sub sandwich. And there you can see it in action on a card. So not only do the condiments look great on the sandwich, but you can also use them like as decoration for your card as well. And you can see that blanket off to the side. And you can dress that up. And then, of course, there is a Lovely Layers hamburger. And it is complete with sesame seeds. Now, I love this option because every year we go to McDonald's for McHappy Day. And I'm just thinking of layouts that I have all these pictures for. And it'd be really great to have a hamburger die. And like I said before, you've got sesame seed options. There's even an egg. I know there's a kind of burger that you can get with an egg on it. I've never done that, but to me, that's yucky. And then you've got pickles, and you've got your ketchup squiggle. You've even got the, we call it fake cheese in our house, the Kraft cheese slices. So you've got that on there too. Like, it's really awesome, all the fun things that you've got that you can use for decorating your hamburger. And there you can see, again, what the hamburger looks like when you've got it on the front of a card. And then we're going to talk about this stencil here. This is called Picnic Blanket Builder. So this one is going to pair up, well, it can pair up with that beach blanket die that I showed you earlier. And there is, there's two stencils in here. They layer to make the plaid pattern and also to make the floral pattern. Rubber cheese, is that what you call it in your house, Tracy? We call it fake cheese. I actually used a fake cheese slice today because at 2:30 when I realized I hadn't eaten lunch, I made a grilled cheese sandwich and I wanted to do it fast. So, yeah. And someone says, I like a plain burger. You can use Nouveau drops for mustard and ketchup. Oh, yeah, for sure. There's so many options. It's really fun. But I love this too. And this stencil can be used away from the blanket as well, like just as a pattern creator. And then even along the bottom of the stencil, I'm going to hold it up here a little bit. You see that dotted line? That can be used for either a flight pattern or, in this particular situation, since we're talking about picnics and things, it can be the line for ants, which I thought was really cool. So it even says on the slide here, there's a little trail of curious ants just for a touch of whimsy. So you can create that as well. Plastic cheese. Yep. See, we all have a name for that kind of cheese. And then the final stencil for Honeybee, this one here is called the Summer Scene Builder. It is a layering stencil as well. I don't know how many stencils are in this. Let me just look and see if it says. I think there's at least 5 because I see layer 5. But this creates the scene that you see in the background of this card. So it creates the grass on the ground, the shrubbery in the background, and then the trees at the top. Now, this has been cut down to an A2 size, so the trunks of the trees are not showing. But if you look at the stencil here on either side, it does have trunks of trees. So you could cut your card down and eliminate this part, and then you could have like a full tree with a trunk and everything, and then it's got the shrubbery and the whole deal. So it's very easy with these layering stencils to create the scene. You just go through the different layers and ink up using the different colors, and then you end up with a beautiful paneled background. So it's a pretty fun way to create a background, and this background would work for anything outdoorsy. So that's a fun one to add to your stash too. So those are all new products from Honeybee. Does anybody have any questions about those before I move on to the next thing? I see somebody says they need that fire pit. Yes, there's always things that catch people's eyes. So I'm going to remove this slide, and then we're going to add this one. So if you are placing orders throughout this live, so again, starting at 4 o'clock, Make sure you put in the comments that you were here for the live or that you watched the live video. It can be on replay. It doesn't matter because we are doing a giveaway, and that's one of the rules. Now, if you've already put an order in and you didn't put that in, you can email me and tell me. But here we are at 4:20. So everybody should know now that you want to make sure you include that you watch the live so that you know. Oops, I'm going to remove my slides for a minute, actually, because I've got other things to talk about. So Altenew, we received an order from Altenew, new release. And then we also got, we brought in some products that aren't new products on the market, but maybe new for us from this brand. I did briefly talk about our distributor having a fire and that they're going to be closed indefinitely. We don't have an actual timeline, but we're thinking 6 months to a year. So a lot of us retailers are sort of looking for different sources for things that we used to order from them. In some situations, our volume isn't large enough to set up accounts with companies to get like 1 or 2 items. We can't do that. They have minimum order requirements and also minimum quantities on certain things. So for instance, I had a customer reach out yesterday actually for a product from Doodlebug. It's an old line, so I don't even know if I can get it. But through our distributor, we could order 1 or 2 of them. If we order direct from Doodlebug, we have to order a minimum of 6. So I don't necessarily want to bring in 6. And that's 6 of just that item. In order to meet minimums on all the products, I have to order 6s, 8s, 12s. Like it depends on what it is. So in some situations, it doesn't make sense to set up an account to, let's say, order our favorite craft knife. So I went looking for other alternatives because craft knives, generally speaking, if you're getting this style, are pretty similar. So we brought in the Altenew one. They make very, very good tools. And we carried, I don't know what we carried before, maybe Tonic. And that one might be available again in the near future because I think that Ranger's going to pick up some of that inventory so that they can distribute it for them. But in the meantime, we brought in the Altenew Comfy Cut craft knife. So it's just the kind that has the regular X-Acto knife blade. There are refills in here, and you can use that for your X-Acto knife instead of the other brand that we were carrying. So if you're looking for a craft knife, this one is available, and it would work exactly the same as any other brand out there. This one does have a nice comfy handle, so it's easy to hang on to. So we do have that. And then we did restock from Pinkfresh the, what do they call this? The stamp press tool. So this is kind of like a top of the line one. Their tools are always very pretty. So this is designed, oh, here's my Misty. I was using this, so I have it out. This is designed to, when you close your Misty door, to help you put pressure on the lid when you're stamping. And it fits very nicely into your hand. It's easy to hold. It's got a nice felt pad, so it's not going to scratch the surface at all. And it just helps put nice, even pressure on your stamp so that when you open it up, you can get that nice stamp. And they always have very pretty tools. So it's their signature soft pink with their gold accessories. And it comes in this very nice box. So if you're looking for a pressure tool, you can grab that one because it's now available again. We restocked that. Oh, that's Pinkfresh. What am I doing? Okay, I jumped ahead. I had that on the wrong shelf. That's Pinkfresh. That's not Altenew. Sorry. We also have restocked the foil relief paste from Altenew. So this is paste that you can run through your stencils. You let it dry, and then it's a little bit tacky, and foil will stick to it. So you can add foil accents with paste through your stencils, which is a really cool option. If you've never used any of the pastes from Altenew, they are top of the line, very smooth and creamy, very easy to use. And this foil one sells out quickly. So we just did a big restock on that. So that's also available. And then talking about different alternatives, Score Tape is, again, a product that we got through our distributor. And I doubt very much I'm going to set up an account just to order score tape. I mean, we do sell a fair bit of score tape, but again, to make it worthwhile bringing orders in, I'm going to have to order, thousands of dollars of score tape. And I don't know that I need to do that all at one time when there's really good alternatives out there. I've told you guys how much we really love the foam tape from Altenew. All of their adhesives are very, very good. I also like their purple tape that you can use. It's like, it almost looks like masking tape, but it's a low tack. So it's good for taping down dies and things like that. Their purple tape is excellent. Well, their ultra sticky tape is also excellent. And it comes in 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1 inch rolls. And it's exactly like score tape. I don't think they have a 1/8 inch roll, but I will double check to see if that's the case. And it's easy to peel and stick. It comes on the nice rolls like score tape does, and it's available in all those widths. So we do have inventory in score tape right now, but as that sort of dwindles down, again, we're going to encourage people to try the Altenew sticky tape because it's also a really great product, and I think you'll love it just as much, maybe even more than the score tape. And then Altenew just came out with new foam strips and adhesive squares. And this has nothing to do with replacing inventory that we've carried in the past, but it's just a new product that we really loved. Okay, so Melissa's saying, I've just tried the Easy Tear tape from Pink and Main, and I love it too. Big roll. Okay, I'll look into that as well, because we order from Pink and Main fairly frequently. So that's good to know. And if anybody else has favorites that they want to let us know about, you can. I don't make any promises, but where it makes sense, we definitely can look into that. Okay, so foam strips. There's 2 different packages, and these are 1/8 width, 7 inch lengths. So they work for 5x7 cards as well. But the cool thing is, you get two sheets in each package. There's different thicknesses. So this is the 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to open one of these so you can see the difference. So I'll pull one sheet out. And then they have 1/8 of an inch. So if you want a little more puff to your foam adhesive, wow, I can't even get that open. There's the edge. Then they have the option of the 1/8 width, which is kind of nice. So I'll just put them side by side so you can see. So you see how okay, I'm not focusing on the right thing. There we go. So we've got the 1/8 and the 1/16, and then they're all pre-cut. So they're 1/8 width strips, and they're 7 inches long. So you get 2 sheets of those, and then they have the different widths. And then they also have foam squares the same way. So you've got the 1/16 inch thickness, and you've also got the 1/8 inch thickness. Now I'm going to also open one of these because they have different styles. We certainly do special order from Altenew all the time. Now, when you special order a product, we just let you know when you order it that we will put it in with our next order. And if it's a company we don't order from often, I might let you know and just say, we just put an order in. It might be 2 to 3 weeks before we put in another order, just to give you kind of like a timeline. But a lot of the companies that we order from, we order quite frequently. So this afternoon, I just watched a new release video from Altenew. So I will be getting ready to put in an order. So if there is some stuff that you're looking for sooner rather than later, letting us know would be good. Because once I place that order, most of the companies do not let us add on. So in other words, once we placed it, we're done. We have to wait. And I mean, I'm not going to be ordering again in the next couple of days. So it's going to be a little bit of a wait. So that's kind of how that works. But yes, we do all the time. So if you take a close look here, you can see that there's all different sizes of the foam squares. They call them squares, but they're not all squares. So at the top here, you've got different strips, and they're quarter inch, I think. At the top, maybe that looks like 1/4 inch. So you've got these ones perfect for behind sentiment strips, and these ones are a little shorter. And then you got these ones here. See how tiny they are? So lots of tiny ones. And then you get into the probably 1/4 inch squares. And then you've got some longer rectangles and then some larger squares over here. And then even down the sides, they've used every little bit of this adhesive piece to make those sheets. And again, you have the 1/16 thickness, or you have the 1/8 thickness. So depending on whether you like them thinner or thicker, you can purchase them that way. So those are new. They just came out with those. We were excited to see that. And then another thing that we are really enjoying, we don't carry the cardstock line from Altenew. Again, if there's specific colors that you want, we are more than happy to order them in. But we do love their multi cardstock sets. And they came out with one in the spring, and it's called Spring Serenade, but it's a beautiful like rainbow color. I really, really love that. There's 10 sheets in the pack, and those are all the colors that you get. So for instance, if you got this pack and you really liked the color combinations, or there's a few colors in here that you really like, maybe they fill holes from other cardstock lines that you carry, then it tells you the name. So you can email us and say, you know what, I really love that color Volcano Lake. Can you order me a pack of that? No problem. So we have the Spring Serenade still. We keep ordering this one because people really love it. And then they just came out with their festive florals. And this is what I will call their Christmas mix. And look at that beautiful color palette for Christmas. So you've got a couple of different greens in there, but it also mixes in with these lovely neutrals and a few different reds and moving into the pinks. So it's a really, really nice combination of colors. And again, it gives you all the color names there as well. So we do have both of those variety pack cardstock sets in from Altenew as well. And now I'll pull up my slideshow and we'll talk about the new products that we got. Now this stuff's already selling really well. We've had it up online since late last week, and the orders are coming in. Shelby's away on holidays this week, so is Carrie. So I'm kind of running the show myself, but she is uploading videos to our socials talking about all the new products, and people have been seeing that and they're like, ooh, and they're shopping. So first thing I'm going to show is a new die set called Holiday Essentials, and they are holiday greetings with a shadow die, and they're perfectly sized for A2 size cards, but they also work nicely as titles on layouts too. So there's an example of a card right there in my slideshow that has the warm wishes. And that's an A2 size card. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you can see how much space that takes up on there. So still gives you lots of room to do fun things, but it is kind of a nice big bold sentiment. And that is the warm wishes one right there. So you can use it with or without the shadow. But you get season's greetings, peace, love, and joy, warm wishes, happy holidays. And I love that they put with love in there too. So that's a fun one. And there's just another card example on the back. And then we also have the festive greenery die set. So it's just sprigs and berries in different configurations. They're all loose dies, so you can cut each stem out on its own. But you can see when you pair them together, and you do a little ink blending and some splattering, you can get some really beautiful effects. So you can keep things very simple, or you can go kind of crazy with it. But it's quite a beautiful set, a really nice basic. And I think these would translate well after the holiday season as well. So depending on what color you cut them out of, you can certainly group them in with other florals and different things that you might have in your stash. So I love that. And here you can even use some of them to create a wreath. So that is using this sort of sprig here. And the easiest way to do this is to either cut out a circle frame or an actual circle out of cardstock. And then you line up all your branches around the outside edge. And then you put your sentiment on over top and you end up with a beautiful wreath. So, and then there's berries in this as well that you can cluster in there. And you can add a little bit of glitter and sparkle and it would just look gorgeous. So it does, sets like this are great basics that you can really do a lot of different things with. And then this one has been very, very popular so far. It is an embossing folder and stencil combo. So it's called Winterberry Poinsettias. There's a 3D embossing folder, and we all know how great those are. So there's the design that it actually does. And I'm going to show you the flexibility of that in the slides that I'm just going to show you in a minute here. So you can use this completely on its own. You don't have to pair it up with anything. But then there is also a stencil that matches the embossing folder. So you can use the stencil completely on its own as well. But you can stencil up a panel and then slip it inside here and line up your design underneath this and then emboss it, and it raises up all the areas that you just stenciled. And it's actually a very, very cool effect. So I love that option. And that's called Winterberry Poinsettias. Now, let's see. You can do the design across the top of a card. So you're going to, this will be the top of your card up here. So it kind of like arches over, which is sort of shown in this example here. So again, stencil the panel, slip it into your embossing folder, run it through, and it raises up all of those stenciled areas. They've done a little bit of splattering on here and put a nice verse along the bottom, and bam, you have a card. So ink blending is very easy to do. So this type of thing is very nice for mass producing cards. And we all know at the holidays, you don't just give one Christmas card out. You often give, quite a few out. So it's nice to find designs that you can do that with. And then here they've done the opposite of that. And it's just sort of done along the bottom of the card. So in that case, you'd be flipping your design this way and doing it along the bottom. And switch up your colors. And you can go with a completely different color scheme, which is also really cool. So I love that option. And then the last one shows a really neutral look. Now they still have a happy holidays greeting on here, but I think with this type of flower, you can get away with that in other seasons as well. Like I think in this kind of color scheme, you could do a beautiful sympathy card or something like that. And sometimes, unfortunately, we need sympathy cards around the holidays. So I love this color palette to really sort of tone down the boldness and make it soft. And you could add sympathy greetings to something like this, and it would be really beautiful as well. So you can definitely sort of decide how you want to position this and what areas of it you want to use in order to get different looks. But that is a really nice one. It's a I think, pretty versatile set for the holidays. And then another really cool one is called the Lush Botanicals. This is a 5x7 inch folder, and it has a die that goes with this. So you would die cut out your shape, and then you pop it in here and run it through the embossing folder, and then it adds all of this dimension and detail to it, and then you can layer it together. And it also creates a beautiful poinsettia. So you build the flower, and it has like the keyhole system, I think, with this one too. Yes, keyhole. So it makes it very easy to line up, but you're actually cutting out the layers. I could open this up and just show you, just so you completely understand. So inside here, there's your die, and it does tell you how to link them all together to build the flower. But you die cut first, slip it into your folder, run it through, and embosses it, and then you put it all together. So it's a really, really great option. And these folders, Altenew does these folders with all of their sets, so that you open them up and then it gives you color suggestions and all kinds of really cool things. So they put a lot of work into their products, very, very good quality. And there's always lots of inspiration out there too. Okay, so there is just one example. And then here's another example. This one, the first one shows like some white inking on the edges of the petals and maybe a little ink splattering. And then the next one is that's just straight cardstock with a little bit of ink blending on it. And I will tell you to pay close attention to the little frames in the background there, because we're going to talk about those in a minute. And there's another one in traditional colors. But we all know poinsettias can be done nicely in the whites and the pinks and all kinds of colors to make them look different. And then along the same lines, there is a decorative frame set. So you get two different frames options. And again, there's a die. So you cut out the frame and then you pop it in here and then you run it through the embossing folder and it gives it all that dimension. And you can see that they make beautiful accents behind the florals, but you can also use them on their own too. And so that is, there's your dies right there. So pretty cool idea for that too. And then this one is a restock. This one was hot. I'm telling you, look at those amazing glasses. And I love the clean and simple design of this card. I actually have this set in my stash. I needed it. I just thought, oh my gosh, you can change up the color of the glasses that you make. And then I like how they masked off that rectangle and then they just stamped and added a little bit of color to that floral image behind, and bam, you have a card. So you get the die and the stamp in this set. I wonder if there is that greeting or not. Let's just find out. I need to know. There is. That one says hello sunshine. So when I say they added color, this is a layering set. So you can stamp this piece, which is the outline, and then these pieces you stamp on top of that, and that's what adds the color. So you do not have to color at all if you don't want to. Or you can get your markers and pencil crayons out and things like that. But isn't it a great set? So you can use this floral set all on its own without the glasses. But I think the glasses are just awesome. So that is a set, and we just restocked that. So it is a fun one for sure. Something different. And then speaking of something different, check out this embossing folder. So this is called the Ribbon Waves. Now, immediately when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is for like beach scenes or, you know, like water scenes and stuff like that. No, it is not. I don't even think they designed it for that, because you can, this is such a neutral pattern for the background of anything. Florals. Obviously, you can use it for sand or water because it will work. But look at on these cards how it's just that really nice subtle pattern that makes your paper look like wavy. And then, you know, a simple sentiment or anything. The other cool thing that these cards show is that if you emboss this and then just take your scissors, you can cut along the edge of one of these waves and you can create like wave borders or whatever. So I thought that was a cool idea too, because to fussy cut that once you have it embossed would be very, very easy. I love the look of these cards. They're very simple, but easy. And again, a great way to mass produce thank you cards or something like that. And here the pattern is shown behind a floral design that they've cut out. So it works for anything. I like the simplicity of it, and I like that it's very neutral in the theme department. So it doesn't have to be used for any particular theme. And then once again, we have restocked the Garden Cosmos. This must be the 100th time. And that is what they look like when you die cut them out. They're beautiful. And you can use, you know, one stem. You can snip them apart and use multiple stems at a time, or just a single stem. So there's lots and lots of options. There is a layering guide inside with the dies and everything, and it shows you how to put them all together. It's very simple. You just follow the instructions, and you can make them whatever color you want. Someone says, I bought the Cosmos. Well, so did a lot of other people, but they're still in demand. So we have brought them in again. So they're here. And then last but not least, from the people at Altenew, we have brought in for the Stamp Wheel 2.0, we brought in the center alignment guides. So these are really cool because what they do, they come in different widths. There's 4 different ones. So there's guides for A2 size cards, 5x7 cards, 6x6, and 8x8. And the thing is, what you do is you place the guide in one corner of the stamp wheel, making sure that the 2 outer sides of the guide are directly against the 2 walls of the edge of your stamp wheel. Okay. And then you can place your cardstock in the inner corner down here, making sure not to leave a gap, remove the guide. And what it's really helpful for, and kind of what the stamp wheel was really intended for, is to do off the edge stamping of your panels, or creating patterns or wreaths using the stamp wheel. It allows you to have your card perfectly positioned in the middle of your stamp wheel in order to be able to take advantage of that. So these are just really great guides. I've also seen videos that you can use them for masking and different things too. So there's just a nice little tool to have to go along with your stamp wheel. And it's fairly inexpensive. So it's a nice little add-on. So we did bring those in. A few customers requested those. So we have those in stock now too. Any questions so far on the Altenew stuff? Because I'm happy to answer. Excuse me. And now we're going to jump into Pinkfresh. I already showed you the, what do we call it? The stamp press tool. I did that earlier. I didn't mean to, but I did. So the stamp press tool is back in stock. And then I'm going to add my little slideshow here. Just let me get my screen positioned again. So this release was kind of fun. You know that Pinkfresh is known for their florals. They have a lot of florals. So when they do something other than a floral, we get excited. And these are very, very cool for retirement, for masculine cards, and just some really great scene building options. And Pinkfresh makes it super easy to look like a real professional card maker because they have the layering stencils that go over top of their stamps, and they do all the work for you. You just have to pick the colors you want to use, and then you can create some really beautiful scenes. So this one is called Gentle Escape. Obviously, it is a scene with a dock and a rowboat, and then you've got a tree kind of off to the side. But they've got sentiments included like happy birthday, celebrate the little joys today. So yeah, and then relax, recharge, and celebrate. Again, I think it would be a really great like retirement card. And there is a 6-piece layering stencil, and this is the scene that you create when you stencil over top of the stamped image. So I love that. And there's just an image of what that looks like when it's stenciled out. And then you can also I liked this idea too, where you can put kind of like a frame over top of the image, and it almost looks like a picture, which is really cool. So that is Gentle Escape. And then we've also got one called Peaceful Pause, and I just think this is so cool. So this one actually has a die set that goes with it as well. So stamp, stencil, and a die. And the die you can see is like a 1-piece die. So once you stamp this out and stencil it all up, you put the die over the whole thing, and that's what it cuts out. So I'll just show you a sample here of what scene you're creating. Isn't that amazing? So you get the 2 trees with the hammock. And then at the top of your stamp set here, you've got a table with a book on it and a drink. You've got the fire pit, flowers, flip-flops. There's a basket here. So all of that cuts out when you stamp and stencil, and then you put the die over top. I mean, I just love the scenes that they create. It's amazing. So, and you can get, fancy with all your colors and decide, if you want it to be fall trees or summer trees, and what color you want your hammock to be, et cetera, et cetera. So it is a really, really fun option, and you get the whole scene in one bam. So it's amazing. And again, you can take this scene and you can put it on a layout, or you can put it in a journal. You can put it on a card. You can do it and frame it and put it in your house. Maybe you need decor for your bathroom. I don't know. You can frame stuff and put it up too. Like, you go to all this work and make stuff, you can definitely frame them. So they're really pretty. It would be a great gift too. Like if somebody was, I don't know, a house, they just moved into their house, or you want to give them a gift and like you want it to be like a home decor thing. You can totally frame some of this stuff. It's awesome. Okay. And now my personal favorite is the retro camp days. Now, I don't really love to camp. I'm not going to lie. I'm a glamper. If I'm going to camp, it's got to be glamping. Now I stay in a trailer pretty much every weekend, but we are trackside when we race. So we're there for a reason. We're not just hanging out in the woods doing whatever campers do. And I know a lot of people really love it, but I do love a great outdoor scene. And this one, I had to have it. So this I added to my library. And you get all of these sentiments, which come with the set. And then this is a one and done stamp. And then there's stencils to create the coloring on top of your stamped image. And then there's dies for all of the sentiments. So there's no die to cut out this scene. You're just going to stencil that right onto a panel. and then you're going to, you know, decorate with your sentiments and your fancy dies to cut it out or whatever. So I love the sentiments though. Thank you for being the person I can count on. I knew you could do it. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. You make ordinary moments special. There was one in here that said something about adventure. I've got your back. This is how it's done. Okay, wait, I'm trying to find it. I thought there was something about a trip. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, really great sentiments for sure. And then, yeah, so here's an example of one color scheme. And then if you flip here, like you can totally switch it up. Now, I found this card and I thought it was really cool. See how they have the oval that's colored and then the stamping goes outside of the oval and they've left that black and white. And I think that is so cool. I'm going to try this because I think it's cool. And this says some people just feel like home. And I just think that's such a fun thing. But I love it. Like, I don't know. I mean, I just want to go and stay in that trailer right in the woods there. And I'm not even a camper. But it's very fun. I love that. So that's a really cool one for sure, especially if you're a camper. And then there is another one called Woodland Trails. And this one is kind of like another stamped die stencil. This one is kind of like a map, which is really cool. So there's your little scene. Look, there's a little sheep in the field here. There's a little cabin. There's mountains and trees. You've got a pond over here, and here's the campground. So lots of fun things here. Maybe this is where I saw it. Oh, yeah. Every adventure needs a good friend. I love that saying. So happy trails with my favorite human. Oh, my gosh. I need these sentiments to go with that. Camping set. The die is for the sentiments. And then the stencil helps you stencil out this scene, which I thought was a really cool option. And that's what it looks like when you stencil it all out. Isn't that cool? Oh, that's it. No more slides. Let's remove that. So those are all the stamp die stencil sets that came in from Pinkfresh. So that's that. And then there is a new product from Pinkfresh. And they came out with their version of the grip mats. So you see me using my grip mat all the time in my videos. And I'm stenciling. I'm just going to pull it on here. So here it is. It's sturdy and well used. This is from Altenew. I love it. But I will say, when you stick this down onto a surface, like a glass mat or in your Misty, it can be tricky to lift it up. It really gets stuck down there. Sometimes you're peeling it off and you almost feel like you're going to rip it. Well, Pinkfresh has come out with their version of the grip mat, and you'll notice that they have like a thick border around the outside, and then they have this design on the inside. So the design on the inside creates little pockets so that once you get the edge off, the rest of it lifts up really nicely. So you're not like yanking on it to get it off of your work surface or out of your Misty to clean it. So I thought it was kind of cool. And it's made of the polymer material that they make all of their stamps out of. So very good quality. And it's nice and sticky. But eventually, like any of the grip mats, the stickiness does kind of wear off. And what that means is that you've got oil from your skin, fuzz, cat hair, dust, all that kind of stuff builds up on here. And then the stickiness kind of goes away. That's when you need to take it to your sink with a mild dish soap or something and give it a little scrub. And then you let it air dry. And then once you do that, then it gets sticky again. It just naturally gets sticky. And you just keep using it over and over and over. You will get stains on it like you do some of your stamps, depending on the inks you use. That won't come off. So that's just the way it is now. But that's okay. It doesn't affect the way that it's used. And you can see my cover is actually curling up, which means the edges of this they're not sticky anymore because that's where I touch it with my hands. So I probably need to clean mine. But anyways, they come in 3 different sizes. They did a 4 3/4 by 6, and they did a 6.5 by 8.5. I believe this is the size that goes in the original Misty. This is probably the size that would fit in the small Misty. And then they do have an 8.5 by 11 one if you like a larger surface to work on. So any of those would be a good choice. Now I see a comment here, Melissa. No, Chris, no. Oh yes, I have to try the Pinkfresh one. I tore my waffle flower one taking it out of my Misty. You do have to be very careful when you're taking it out. You don't want to just rip it out. You just want to slowly peel it back. But they are very sticky. And the waffle flower ones are solid photopolymers. So there's no texture to them at all on the back. So they definitely grip. And that's what you want. You want the grip. But this just makes it a little easier to lift up. But they are great. And I noticed that a lot of the influencers are already using them in their videos. So they're definitely being received well in the marketplace. So we have all of those available as well. Okay, so I think that is it for today. Now we're going to talk about our giveaway. So if you've been checking out our What's New section, there are a lot of new things that I have not shown in my lives yet. And I'm hoping to do one more live of new product this week, maybe Friday. Thursday, I don't think I'm going to be available. Tomorrow, I already have other things on my calendar that I cannot push off anymore. So I won't be doing a new product live. So I'm hoping for Friday. And but you can still shop for all those new things before I show them in the live. And so this is how it's going to work. I'm going to be giving away a $15 gift card. And you have to shop from 4 o'clock today until noon tomorrow. So that gives people a chance to come home from work and watch this on replay. And in your order, you need to spend a minimum of $25. It can be on anything, regular price product, so not sale stuff. You can't use reward coupons and things like that. This is the promotion. This is it right here, the winning of the gift card. If you want to put in separate orders and use your reward coupons and all that kind of stuff and buy your sale things, go ahead and do that. But in the one that you want to qualify for the draw, make sure in the comments that you say that you watched the live video. So it can be on replay. I don't mind if it's on replay because not everyone can be here now. So from 4 o'clock today till noon tomorrow, we will do one random winner of a $15 gift card. And I will email you with the details with your gift card. The reason I'm going to do it this way, the last time I said you had to contact me. Well, you know what happened? Some random person, dude, emails and says that they are the person that won. Well, I know who the person is that won, and I know full well that was not the winner. So I blocked this person. It was some spam thing. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I will know who you are because of the order that you placed. So I'll be able to contact you through that email. So I'm not going to worry about it. And I will send you the gift card information and we will do the draw. I'll post it in the afternoon tomorrow and we'll just do our wheel of names and it'll just randomly pick a winner. Sound good? Any questions? Now's your time to shout them out. I'm happy to answer. Just give everyone a minute. Sometimes it takes a second for that to come up. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off and hopefully be back Friday. Just watch social media. I'll post and let everybody know if I'm going to be live. But until then, just go check out what's new. Check out your favorite brands to see if restocks have arrived, etc. And we will see you all again soon.